All right, let's go through the sample test, chapter 3 sample test. It said find the average rate of change. So we find out what this is at 3. At 3, we plug in 3, so we get 7 minus 0.1 times 3 squared is 9, so 0.9. 7 minus 0.9 is 6.1. And if I put in 5, I get 5 minus 25 times 0.1 is 2.5 from 7 is 4.5. And the average rate of change is basically the slope, so I'm going to find the slope between these two. This is going down by, let's see, 1.6, and this is going up by 2, so the average rate of change is negative 0.8. If I didn't make any mistakes, I did the math in my head. Hopefully I did that correctly. 39 point, yeah, I think so. All right. Find the intercepts, the line of symmetry, the interval of increasing or decreasing, and the vertex for these. Okay, well, we'll start with minus b over 2a will give me the x coordinate of the vertex. It says find the vertex, so that'd be the opposite of negative 7, which is 7 over 2 times a, which is 6. So the line of symmetry, or axis of symmetry, is x equals 7, 6. The vertex will be 7, 6, and then I'll have to put 7, 6 into the equation. I'll just use my calculator on that. 3 parenthesis 7 divided by 6 close parenthesis squared minus 7 parenthesis 7 divided by 6 close parenthesis minus 6, and then I'm going to say change it to a fraction, and I get 121 divided by 12. And that's the vertex, which is 10 and 1/12. Okay, vertex, axis of symmetry. So intercepts, that would be the quadratic formula, or factor. Does this one factor? Let's try factoring. So I'll do 3x and x, and 6 could be a 3 and a 2, and I got to subtract because it's negative 6, so I got to have, let's see, if I put in 3 here, a negative 3, that'd be negative 9, and plus 2, that'd be plus 2x, that'd make negative 7. So there's it factored if I'm trying to find the x-intercepts. And so then setting this equal to 0, 3x plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2, divide by 3, x equals negative 2/3, and x equals 3. So the x-intercepts are negative 2/3, 0, and 3, 0. The y-intercept means I'm going to put 0 in for x, and that's going to wipe out the 3x squared and the negative 7x, and so it's just going to be negative 6. So I have the intercepts, line of symmetry, x equals 7, 6. Intervals of increasing. Well, this is a positive 3x squared, so it's a right side up parabola. So it's going to be increasing from the vertex on. So from the increasing from on the interval 7, 6, when x is 7, when x is greater than 7, 6, it'll be increasing to infinity. And it'll be decreasing for the other side from negative infinity up to 7, 6. Alright, and increasing, decreasing, and vertex. So that's all I asked for there. Now I might ask for one that's greater than 0 or less than 0, but I didn't. Now we have the other form. Okay, so now we can read the line of symmetry, or the axis of symmetry, straight from it. See, this one has been moved plus 3, so it's x equal 3. So that's the line of symmetry. The vertex is then going to have a 3 and up 8, so plus 8. That's the vertex. Okay, now to find intercepts, that's going to be a little bit tricky here. So I'm going to say to find the x-intercepts, I set y equals 0, so I'm going to have 0 equals negative 2 x minus 3 quantity squared plus 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. Divide by negative 2. And I get x minus 3 quantity squared equals 4. Take the square root, and the square root of 4, the square root of 4, the square root of 4 is 4. They are 2 and negative 2. So I add 3 to both sides and I get x equals 5, and I get add 3 to both sides and I get 1. So I have x intercepts are 5, 0, and 1, 0. Y-intercepts are going to be, if I put in 0 for x, and that's not going to be 8, if I put 0 in there, I get negative 3 squared, which is 9, times negative 2, negative 2 ninths plus 8, which is, what have I got? Negative 2 ninths. Negative 3 squared is 9, times negative 2 is, negative 3 squared is 9, times negative 2 is negative 18 plus 8, which is negative 10. That's the y-intercept. And then, since this is an upside down parabola because of the negative 2, it will be increasing up to the vertex. So it'll be increasing from negative infinity to the vertex, which the x-coordinate of the vertex, 3, and decreasing from 3 to infinity, because it's going down the other side. 3, find the points of intersection. So we want to know they're going to intersect when the y heights are equal. So we're going to have x squared minus 7x equal to minus 6x plus 2. Now this is a line and that's a parabola, so they probably be intersect in 2 places. I will add 6x to both sides. Since I got a square, and I'm going to have to set it equal to 0. And so if I add 6x, I'm going to get minus x, minus 1x, and subtract 2 from both sides, minus 2 equals 0. this factors, or I could use the quadratic formula. X and X, 2 and 1, and I need to have a negative 1, so negative 2 and plus 1. So this is equal to 0 when X is 2 or negative 1, setting that equal to 0 or that equal to 0. But that's not what I want to know, so it's not 0. I want to know where these two graphs meet. So what is the y height of f at 2? 2 squared is 4, minus 7 times 2 is 14, so that's negative 10. Notice that if I put 2 in here, I get negative 12. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12 plus 2, negative 10. So both f and g are 10 high, negative 10 high at 2. And if I put in negative 1 squared is 1, and negative 7 times negative 1 is plus 7, so 1 plus 7 is 8. If I put negative 1 in here, I get negative 6 times negative 1, which is plus 6, plus 2 is 8. So those are the points of intersection. I have to take my solutions to this and put it into the original functions to find out how high they were when they intersected. Number 4 trips people up because I didn't write them in order. They get confused about what A, B, and C are. It says f of x is a negative x squared plus 6x plus 7 if you write them in order. So A is negative 1, B is 6, and C is 7. So, does this have a max or minimum? Well, since this is an upside down parabola, it will have a maximum. And it says find that value. Well, it'll happen at the line of symmetry, which is B, so I'm going to skip the B, or C, the vertex. B, I'm going to do minus B over 2A, so that's the opposite of 6, over 2 times negative 1. So that's positive 3. So x equal 3 is the line of symmetry. The vertex, C, is going to be at 3, and then plug 3 into the equation. So that would be 3 squared is 9, so I got minus 9. 3 times 6 is plus 18, twice as much as that, and opposite. And then plus 7. So that's 25 minus 9, which is 16. So on A, the maximum value is, it's a max of 16. There's the A answer. There's the B answer. There's the C answer. And interval where the function is decreasing. D, it's decreasing from, since it's an upside down parabola, it's decreasing from the vertex on, so from 3 on, 3 to infinity. And E, where the function is negative. Well, it would be, since it's an upside down parabola, it'll be negative on the wings. But I need to know the X-intercepts. Now this may factor, it may not factor. I'm just going to do the quadratic formula for the experience. So I'm going to do the opposite of B, plus or minus the square root. B squared is 36. A negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. Times a negative 4 is a plus 28, all over 2a, and a is negative 1, so negative 2. 36 plus 28, that would be 44, 54, 64. Square root of 64 is 8. And so the x-intercepts are at negative 6 plus 8, which is 2 divided by negative 2, negative 1. and negative 6 minus 8, which is negative 14 divided by negative 2, which is plus 7. So it crosses at negative 1 and plus 7. And so the function is negative. It's below the x-axis from negative infinity up to negative 1. And it's also negative from 7 to infinity. Now if I'd asked when is it positive, I would have put from negative 1 to 7. Okay, that's page 1.